Okay, hello. Very quickly. Well, I'm going to say very quickly. I've got about 3 or 4 videos I want to do on this. We're back with the Donald Trump heart shot. Okay, shot in the heart, saved by a bulletproof vest, and probably will end up in hospital for a few days. They'll do a kind of going into hospital will be the death, coming out of the hospital will be the resurrection. It wouldn't surprise me if they swear in old Dave Bowman so they can get this tied back in with 9/11 as well. And the whole idea of Dave Bowman Odysseus uh, shooting the true arrow, so to speak, at the and hitting the ball, hitting the bullseye, which is the eye of the axe head. Okay, there's so many little connections here to other stuff. I could just go off on a complete tangent on uh, a lot of this sort of information here. But it wouldn't surprise me that we see Vance in as the Dave Bowman thing, and then Donald Trump resurrects and is feeling better. Maybe he gets a couple of broken ribs or something. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Okay, now this probably isn't going to happen. I don't know how long I've been looking at this now. I think I can't remember now. since I think since he did his little talk, his little speech after the correspondence dinner event, that other fake shooting event. Since he did that, and he said they were going to do the same event again within 30 days. I was looking at dates that were in that 30-day window, and we're out of that 30-day window now. But this is just a kind of roll-on thing. I don't know what to say about it, other than this is just really interesting, and I've pretty much already done the decode, but we're just going to start from a different date, and there's a reason for starting from a different date, and I'm going to go through it in here. It could well be referenced. So apart from we looked at this scene, and apart from we've got a ton of 519 references, we also got some stuff running out, some references to Pentecost, and there's Easter references in here, and so we were running out from Easter to Pentecost, and we were, there was that date that came up, which was 5/24, which was, let me show you it real quick, this was part of one of those decodes that we've just done, from Easter through to Pentecost, 50 days, or of course the 49, and 7 sevens. So what was interesting about this is we had references to Pentecost in Mars Attacks. And there was a bunch of other stuff, really good connections. And this is the reverse of the date of the correspondence dinner, yeah? So if you just look at these numbers, 5/24, and just go backwards, 4/25 was the correspondence dinner. So this was really interesting that this number came up, and this was in one side of the dollar bill as well. Excuse me. So there was a lot of really interesting things, but I made an assumption when I was decoding that I should be going from just regular old Easter and doing that number jump there. And the reason why we did the 49 and the 50-day with Pentecost was because of the flag that is at the end of that scene when they leave the classroom. Outside there's a flagpole, and one star is missing, and it gives us the 49/50 reference for our number jump of how Pentecost is calculated. Okay, so let me show you something now in IPET Go, which could lead us to do the exact same number jump, but from a different date. And you're probably already thinking, hang on a minute, Dan, why didn't you check the Orthodox calendar for Christmas, for Easter, and then run from that one and see where that landed us? Well, I can tell you already that from Orthodox Easter, and I've got it in here, which was on the 12th of April, you run through your 49 days or 50 days inclusive, it's going to bring you to the 31st of May, which coincidentally is very interesting because this will be Clint Eastwood's 96th birthday. Now, I'm going to do that decode later with Clint Eastwood, and we'll talk about Michael J. Fox again, because of course in Back to the Future, in the final Back to the Future 3, Michael J. Fox is playing Clint Eastwood, and he is saved by the fistful of dollars steel plate, okay, which is the bulletproof vest, okay, that is lifted from the fistful of dollars. Okay, so what do I want to say about it? So this is extremely interesting, and of course, don't forget that Michael J. Fox's birthday is on the 9th of June. He's a 9/6 reference, so we're going to see a reference to 9/6 twice, or we've got a 9/6 reference twice here with Clint Eastwood and Michael J. Fox, which will then tie us back in with IPET Go, because there's a yin yang reference in the Easter eggs here. Okay. Firstly, how do we get? So we know that this point here with all these Easter eggs that are right here. I'm pretty sure that it's an Easter reference, okay? And the Last Supper is there, and blah blah blah, and we have the Easter Bunny there as well. So I'm pretty sure it's an Easter reference. And how do we get to the Orthodox Easter now from this point? Right. So we've got old Dunce here, Bush, with the Donald Trump, the trumpet hat with the D on it. Okay, the dunce cap is referencing Donald Trump here. And while he's here, he's got this one star on him. And notice it's a 5-pointed star, and it's white. And of course, you could tie this back in with the idea of the dove from above. Okay, this thing, obviously the star is from above. It flies through the air, so to speak. Okay, and 5 with penta. Okay, and this essentially is a pentagram. Okay, so it's pretty interesting, isn't it, that we have this reference here, and this also is going to tie us back in with the last part of this scene where they're exiting the school and the flag has a 1 star ripped off of it. Gives us the 4950 reference for Pentecost. What do we have it pointing at right here? This is where we first see this thing. Okay, this is kind of where it sort of starts right here. Okay, and the first place that it's pointing to is 1/2 where this brain has split. Now the brain is housed in what? The temple. Okay, and this thing is split. The temple is split here, so to speak. The Great Schism. Okay, the separation of the church. There is a Far Eastern dragon here, from somewhere like, China or somewhere, so you'd call that Far East. So you could have a reference to the East here with this Far Eastern dragon and the schism. So this could be an Orthodox church reference right here. And also note that I looked up symbolism for the Orthodox Church, and St. Michael comes up. Okay, Michael J. Fox, but St. Michael is a dragon slayer. Okay, just like St. George. Okay, so this is pretty interesting. And just on the topic of Fox, we will have a 666 reference in here. I might put it in the title. I don't know. But anyway, so already this is looking interesting. And as we move on, this star is now going to point over to, we've got a heart right here. We're talking about the heart shot. It goes over the dragon. Okay. You knew I was a snake. This is actually a very serpent type dragon. and then it's going to point at the corner of this, right at this heart right here, and we've got some more hearts up here. Okay, so this is pretty interesting for number one, for a little bit of an unorthodox church reference, right? And the heart shot coming in with it as well. Okay, then he's gonna, well, he's actually gonna do some symbolism for shooting as well with his hands, and he's actually gonna get some, we're gonna get some numbers out of there, but we're not gonna worry about that right now. If I move on, he morphs into, you can see the shooting reference with this in the background. Okay, and you can count up his fingers and get some stuff there. Then we're morphed into Obama. Now look at Obama's cheek. Okay, you'll notice on it, it has the crescent with a star. This is kind of backwards for the reference here, but the crescent with a star, even though the star's on the wrong side of the crescent there, again is another one of these Orthodox Church references. Okay, you can see it probably better here with this one, but you can see it's probably, again, it's probably in relationship to the moon goddess and the star Christ together. Okay, I know it's a Muslim thing as well, you know, but this is maybe the reason why they use this, okay, with their symbolism. Cross of Lorraine as well, just coincidentally Leah Thompson's birthday, who plays Lorraine Baines McFly. Her birthday, the actress's birthday, is the 31st of May as well, and that ties in with other things like the launch date of Titanic. The Titanic was launched on 5/31. Okay, so there's lots of stuff with 5/31 that we could be talking about. Anyway, the Cross of Lorraine right there. Which coincidentally is why I called my chart, let me go to it, this is why I called this the double cross of Lorraine, because in this chart, if you draw in here, the two twin towers that were in here, that was the kind of, you know, the reference to it, I suppose, is what you'd say. Okay, that's why I ended up calling the chart that. Okay, and coincidentally, the Leviathan cross has some very similar symbolism with this as well. Okay, anyway, let's get rid of this crud here. Right, let's go back to this. So that's the first, so that's, you know, another thing that could be telling us to look at the Orthodox Easter date. Okay, and as we come through here, there's all kinds of stuff going on with this. Interesting as well right now is graduation time. Schools, you know, people are graduating college right now. It's this time of year in America when people are doing all their graduation stuff. Okay, just coincidentally. What else do we have here? Anyway, we've done all this before. We've got the 12 apostles here for Easter, for the Last Supper. Got the Easter bunny. They've all got egg heads, yeah, for the Easter egg. You'll notice the yin yang one on the end here for the 6-9. Clint Eastwood again. Interesting with the barbed wire, you know, because that would be a nice Western reference. And they also reference barbed wire in Back to the Future 3. Okay, they have the barbed wire salesman. Okay. Anyway, where are we going to go with this, Dan? I want to show you something here in just a second. We'll kind of talk through it and then we'll come back. I don't know if we'll come back to this, but we'll just talk through it, what we're seeing here, and I'll show you where it applies and what it means here in a minute, or at least what I think it means. Okay, this we need to pay attention to. The exit comes up, and so if you've seen my dollar bill decodes, you will know that the white rabbit, the reference to follow the white rabbit, could be a tie-in with doing number jumps in the dollar bill, and I will show you why the white rabbit is super key with the exit sign coming up. These two things being highlighted together This could be giving us our date in the dollar bill right here, if we know to look in the dollar bill, that is, of course. Anyway, so we'll come on to that in a minute. Maybe I should just do that right now. Hang on a minute. Let's see. I've got the dollar bill in here. Let's do it. So what I've got is I've got the dollar bill, and I've split off. That isn't very good there, but I've split off into, there's marker points here that repeat. Okay. And so what I've done is put a line through. This is where you fold the dollar bill on these red lines. Okay. This is the repeating pattern that shows us where to fold these things. Okay. Now, when we have these fold lines in, there's a lot of interesting stuff that kind of appears to us. And let me show you firstly. Let's go to the other big day where he got clipped in the ear. So if I draw Washington's ear in, okay, which should be about, that's not very good. Let's do it a little bit better. So Washington's ear should be underneath his hair right there. Okay, somewhere right about there. And this is exactly where Donald Trump got hit. Okay, and if we follow this line here, what we can do is we can split off and look at the leaves and berries that are above, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 leaves. And then we can count down here. We have 1 berry, and then 1, 2, 3 leaves below the line where he got shot. Okay, so that gives us 713. 7 leaves, 1 berry, another 3 leaves. 713, and that's when he got shot in the ear. Okay, now what is interesting about this idea of the white rabbit, so if you've seen my other stuff before, when I talk about the white rabbit, there's 2 little sets of bunny ears. One's here and one's here. These 2 leaves look like bunny ears. And so there's a number of jumps that you can do with leaves and berries, okay, that take you from one side of the dollar bill to the other side, and you can extrapolate some dates when you do that. Okay, so this is this idea of following the white rabbit. These bunny ears are going across. Okay. Anyway, what we saw in IPET Go 2 was the exit sign and the rabbit highlighted. So if we remove this set of bunny ears, okay, we exit it, is this going to give us our numbers for Donald Trump getting shot again next? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then we've got a 1 and a 3 again. Okay, a 1 here and then 3 leaves here. Obviously it could be 513 or it could be 531. That's pretty interesting already. And we can also do some stuff here. Look, watch this. Let's look at some other symbolism that we've seen lately as well with Donald Trump, right? Which was, let's change to this color. Let's draw in the bell. Okay. So if I draw a bell shape where it is here, you'll see that the top of Washington's head kind of makes this bell shape. So again, I don't know what the reason, Saved by the Bell or something, but I don't know what the reason for maybe removing these 2 leaves here. Okay. I'm trying to think why you would say Saved by the Bell. I don't know, removing those 2 leaves there anyway, that is in connection with this bell, will give us the same outcome. Okay, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the top, and then the same down here. Just removing this whole section, removing that whole section there where the bell is, gives you that sort of, gives you that outcome. I don't know what else to say about it other than I don't know. If you think back to when Han Solo gets killed by his son Kylo, in The Force Awakens, he removes his helmet. Yeah, he removes the helmet before killing Han Solo. Okay. Now, don't forget, we've had a ton of references with Harrison Ford. Okay, he's absolutely loaded. Okay, so the idea of that, the bell and the helmet, the bell end, and the removal of the helmet in that scene is pretty interesting. And don't forget that, like in The Last Crusade, and the other references to the hand on the heart stuff, okay, with Han Solo, the heart reference, he puts his hand on his heart before he goes across the Golden Gate Bridge, okay, in the 3 challenges that he has to do, okay. So that's the last challenge, is the Golden Gate Bridge. Now, we've just had the Golden Gate Bridge's birthday is the 27th. So are we past that final obstacle, the 27th? The 30th, that leaves us to the 31st. Maybe even 529 is a pretty interesting date as well, which is tomorrow, and the 30th is also interesting. So, you know, who knows, but pretty interesting to say the least, with the references. And think about A View to a Kill, where we've had all these references. Zoran, don't quote me on it, but I think, I can't remember now. I'll have to do that in a different. I'll do it in a different video. But there is a definite link to Zoran and Donald Trump and all this stuff. Zoran, I say Zoran, I mean Christopher Walken, and the reference is Christopher Walken dies on the Golden Gate Bridge. That's, you know, at the end of that film. Okay, so just tons of little references with stuff that ties in. And don't forget, that was one of our things in A View to a Kill, is the heart shot, okay, if you recall, that we already decoded out. So, right, okay, so we've done that. We've looked at the dollar bill. That we can get the number in that. We can get the 531 out of it. It's interesting with the bell reference. It's interesting with the exit of the White Rabbit. Okay, I don't actually, we can just click off this, so I don't need to worry about it. So we've got that going on. Now let's watch the apple go across the floor. We've had all the Diana stuff and all the white wedding connection to this time. So again, and there is some stuff that ties in with Charlie Kirk on all this stuff as well, but I haven't got time to do it right in this video. So the apple rolls across the floor. It goes past the C7, and we can make this a 37 or a 73 here, which we're gonna. Don't think I'm gonna use that right now, but what I want to show you is this apple. I want to show you something with this, right? It hits Obama's foot, which again, if you were to color this in brass colored here, his foot, and then this would be the bullet here in the shell casing, for a reference to actually just the shot, essentially hitting what this is, the heart. Okay, so the apple, I believe, could be representing both Donald Trump and the heart here. Let me show you why that is representing the heart. So if you draw a normal heart, yeah, you're just gonna, you know, if you draw a heart, it'd be something like that, right? So if you look at just the outside of the apple, okay, and I've embellished it just a touch there, okay, it's not too much of a stretch to get to a heart shape. We're using the bottom portion of the apple down here, the outer part of the apple as well, to get to this sort of 2 hearts right here. Okay, so that I wanted to show. And also don't forget that if you look at this, it looks like a what? An 88. Okay, and Trump, of course, equals 88. So this is, again, it's pretty interesting. Was there anything else I wanted to show down here? Yes, this again is the gold crown, okay, down here. So this is a form of gold payment. We're going to come on to this and this connection with Obama now. And I felt like I had something for 73 or 37, but I can't remember what it was. Maybe we'll put some number jumps with that in, and maybe we can remember what it was, Dan. Okay, so the first thing is, before we do this though, what I want to do is we want to move on from this scene. So just remember that we have this gold reference here with Obama and the whole shooting thing. And again, this is crazy. And I recall the cannonball rolling down the hall with Champagne Supernova, and like that's pretty interesting again with the launch of the Titanic, Champagne Supernova, when they launch a ship, break the champagne open on the bow. But I think that was the 13th of May, so it's the same numerology, and of course there's several other characters at the time with the 13th. Yeah. Anyway, let's get off of this, because otherwise, if I start going down that road, we'll be here all night. So anyway, so we have a death and a resurrection. Yeah, this is the resurrection, and Obama's sweating it. But we see Obama again here. So as we're coming out of that scene, that we see Obama, then we see the one star here again, coming off the flag. Remember, Flag Day is Donald Trump's birthday, 6/14. Now, watch the flagpole here. Actually, let me just back up just a second here. So there's the one star. And the first number we see after we see when we come out of here with oh blimey hell. So just as Obama's there, okay, the first number we see is, let's put it in, we see the Psalm 23 reference, okay, which also has Donald written in it as well. Okay, so we see the Psalm 23. So we got the 23, and as we come out of this scene, there's our 49 reference, okay, 50. Notice where that 23 is tied together with the flagpole to the 12 o'clock hour. So we have 23 and 12 here. Let me show you a number jump. Let's go from Barack Obama's birthday. Let's go 23,012 days. It's going to take us to his 63rd birthday. I've actually got the end date included here. 63 years 1 day. Okay, to get to fudge it to get the 23012 to work. So the 2312, that takes us to Barack Obama's 63rd birthday. Okay, so what? So let's do a number jump on from Barack Obama's 63rd birthday through to 531. 666. Now who gets the 666 in the Bible? Yeah, King Solomon. Okay, now this is pretty interesting with the Han Solo reference, okay, and the stuff with Harrison Ford. So the Solomon, the Solo Moon, which is interesting because this happens to be, and we'll get onto it in just a second, but this happens to be actually, it's not actually, would you call it the Solo Moon? It's not really the Solo Moon, but it is. It's like the one extra moon that comes because it's a blue moon, okay, on 531. Anyway, he receives his 666 talons of gold, okay. So this is our 666 reference there with that gold coin, which is the crown. Yeah, the king, the crown, with the gold coin. Payment is annual payment. At the payment of gold. Okay, under Barack Obama's foot. Okay, so that is, I mean, it's got to be pretty interesting, doesn't it? This whole thing. Okay, the bullet-shaped foot, the heart references in here, the resurrection, this gold payment 666, the gold. Anyway, what else do I want to show you with this? So that is interesting. And what else do we have here? So we have our Easter, Orthodox Easter, runs through to the 31st. The 31st is a really good reference to Clint Eastwood, which is double reference for the heart shot in Back to the Future as well, where Marty's playing Clint Eastwood. And of course the Mary reference, which is the mother, and Marty is the Christ. And of course that reference again is so she's the Mary symbolism. She's on 531 as well. Okay, and don't forget, if it's a blue moon, who's the blue moon? It's Mary. Notice that Mary tends to wear blue and white. Okay. Also, the other thing is, later on in IPET Go is the Madonna Super Bowl reference with the Black Madonna. You'll often see that referenced in the Orthodox side of things as well, the Black Madonna. Okay. What else do we have here? Oh, a couple other things I wanted to reference. So apart from the Fistful of Dollars reference with Clint Eastwood, we also have the Dirty Harry reference. Okay. And if we come down to Dirty Harry, the film, right? Actually, I don't know if I can't remember if I did do a number jump, but I can't even remember what it was. But what is interesting about this film is that Clint Eastwood, Dirty Harry, is after a psychopathic sniper, later referred to as Scorpio. Now, what is interesting is this blue moon that is coming up, okay, on the 31st, where the hell is it? Is going to be in the constellation of Scorpius, okay, which again is really interesting because just look what it says here in the AI overview. During this phase, it appears right next to Antares. I'm going to say that. But this is really interesting as well because I don't know how many ant references I have had. This is all sort of organic stuff, but the ants this year have been really bad. Okay, and so everybody's been going on about ants, at least in our area. I don't know if it's the same for anybody else. But there's just been loads of references, like just loads of people talking about how bad the ants have been this year. Anyway, I just thought it was maybe worth a mention. That'll take us down a whole nother rabbit hole with ants, but that's the kind of organic stuff coming through. Anyway, Antares is the fiery red supergiant star that acts as the heart of the scorpion. So the Scorpion King is going to get the heart shot. Yeah, I don't know, but this is just interesting. And again, in the end of at the end of IPET Go, remember here is the barbed wire crown of thorns is removed, and again we have this whole scene with the scorpion right here. And if you look at where we're kind of it's kind of guesswork where the heart of the scorpion would actually be. Okay, but it is kind of interesting that sort of, I don't know, maybe you would say it's further back, but if this is the head down here, it's interesting where this top of the pyramid is here, okay, and where this shot's going to come in. Could that be the heart of the scorpion there? I don't know, but anyway, just super interesting. Yeah, the blue moon. I've got some other references with the same decode from Mars Attacks. In fact, if you watch my last video that had the Mars Attacks stuff in it, you already know that there's a reference to the president being killed with a scorpion hand thing. Okay, and it's actually a blue moon reference as well. I'll do it in the next video. What else have I got to say about it? That's probably it. Let's just leave it there for this one. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I really should have mentioned in here. Let's just stick this in. Again, Donald Trump's mother is a Mary. Okay. Let's just hang on a minute. Let's get on it. Let us just check out her number jumps and see if there's anything interesting. Okay. Because of course, again, we're Back to the Future. We're looking at Lorraine, who again is the mother. Okay, and the 531 connection there. Okay, so from her birthday, let's see if I got this right. Yeah, May 10th, 1912, through to that particular date, 41660. So we've got 614 references for Donald Trump. Fairly interesting. I didn't have anything for her death. This is actually, I thought I'd better just include 9/11 as well. And that is 9,029 days, 929 palindromic, pretty nice. And again, it comes out at a fairly nice 1122 prime. Yeah, think about the other big hoax shooting, the JFK 1122. Okay. I'm doing a lot of umming here. Sorry. I think that's it. But yeah, the 49. Remember the 49 when Marty does that jump back home to witness Doc getting shot. 49 days. 49 is in the fire trails. Okay, he's being reborn at that point. Okay, so that's like Easter, if you like, when he does the jump back. That's his rebirth right at that point. And so 49 is referenced in those fire trails, going 49 days on. Again, it's pretty interesting, but this is the wrong one. 49 days right here, 50 and 49. So to this next shooting event, okay? And it's just fascinating that the 519 stuff that keeps showing up as well, by the way, that's referenced there as Marty gets out of the DeLorean and says, not again. Okay, a repeat event going on with the DeLorean, the heart of the DeLorean dying. Yeah, the engine dies on Marty, and he has to run down to the mall. Okay, and also one other thing with that scene, let me show you, is it's not, you don't see it on the clock, but when Marty gets down there and witnesses this, we've got the 133, got the 33 reference, and as that goes on, 134 shows up on the clock, and then Marty finally makes the sort of jump down the hill, but 134 is here, and then he stops and watches for a few more seconds. Maybe we could assume that 135 is at some point going down the hill here while he thinks Doc is still dead. I don't know, maybe. So the 135 numerology or 531 actually could be, this point down here. Okay. And of course, Fox. Don't forget the Fox reference and the 666 stuff with Obama. And of course, we talked about also the JC, Jesus Christ, and the Penny reference again. Penelope. Don't know. Anyway, she is. Odysseus is returning to her. Okay, to shoot the arrow through the sort of bullseye. Okay, and again, don't forget that the bullseye is 50. Okay, so we think about Easter and coming on 50 days, shooting the bullseye is 50. Okay, this is actually stuff that a lot of this stuff I've talked about in like ancient old decodes, about all these references to like the dartboard and all this stuff. So this would be a very interesting date for something to happen with Donald Trump. I'm going to leave it there for this one. I got another one to do. I'll do the Mars Attacks one and just show you that little bit in Mars Attacks where Jack Nicholson, who's playing the president, dies. And yeah, and then I don't know what I'll show you. I've got a couple other ones that I want to show as well. But yeah, the Dirty Harry thing is pretty crazy with the Scorpio and I mean, there's a load of films that reference back to all this stuff. I mean, there's just a ton. Even the 44 Magnum. Ooh, most powerful handgun in the world, and it will blow your head clean off. And actually, in Back to the Future, I think when Marty's looking in the mirror and you actually see his one of his arse cheeks, the moon. There's a moon reference there as well. And I think he does say, make my day or something. Or do you feel lucky? He says something that references back with Clint Eastwood again with one of these films. Anyway, enough, Dan. All right, thanks for watching, and I will catch you on another one pretty soon. All right, cheers. Bye.